Okay, so funny story. I've been seeing this trend. Apparently, there's a viral video on Instagram, and it's like the idea of a mom pound. Mom pound isn't bad, but it's a compound of moms. My head is different. I'm a mom compound, and so the idea is
I love it. I already love where this is going. I have no idea where, but just yeah, that'll work.
no, the mom pound has nothing to do with the mom compound. Two different things. Um, the idea of the mom compound is that there are women that are raising children together and showing up for each other,
Mhm.
um, the way that wives show up for husbands. And of course, this narrative comes from women leaving or having ended relationships where they didn't feel supported by their partner,
Mm.
or like maybe the husband didn't show up when it came to helping with the kids or the housework or whatever. And um, after divorce or after realizing like this is like I'm not getting, I'm almost single parenting in a marriage,
Mhm.
these women team up with other women, um, and they're like, let's do life together. Not intimately, but
Yeah.
like, let's co parent and like almost like multi generational home living type thing. And so the funny thing is, like, I'm seeing it on TikTok. Me and my homegirls talked about this years ago.
This is not a new concept for us here.
We've talked about it. Here's the thing. I also feel like one of those memes. You ever see like those memes where it's like, I told my husband and like it's his weekend with the kids, and he was like, we're married, like we're happily married. Why are you doing this?
Yeah.
Um, like I feel like that. Like I'm like a mom compound would be dope. But but I have a good man, Savannah. You know what I mean? So like
Right.
I it's not
So good.
but it's not my current issue.
Mhm.
But if it ever came to that, I'm partnering up with somebody else's mama. Like I'm
Yes.
like you want to go half on a property, or
Right.
you can move in with me and we can take shifts. And so
Yes.
apparently, like these women are like, I read one statement like it was three moms. One mom like paid off all her debt that I guess
Mhm.
husband left her with, and then the other two moms like started small businesses, and like the kids are thriving.
Come
And
on,
like
entrepreneurs, let's
they're not
go.
worried about, you know what I mean? They're not worried about like intimate partners. They feel fed. You know
Yes.
what I mean? But it's I hey, listen, times are hard.
We might be on something here, people, because as we all know, intimacy is not the very number one default for women to fill their cups. Like there are
Absolutely not.
many other things that will come first. So I, you know,
Absolutely not. Just the idea that like I would get support, and I also think it has a lot to do with age. Like after a certain age, women are less concerned about like being in the streets and trying to find a match. Especially after having kids, you're like, I got bigger things to worry about, dog.
yeah, yeah, for sure, for sure. I mean, I say for sure as if I have kids of my own.
Right.
I
I was like,
don't.
no, but it's
But
still it makes sense, right?
but it yes, it absolutely makes perfect sense because even like for me, I think about this is not what we're talking about today, but I think about I'm like I'm gonna be on the older end of being a mom, which is totally fine with me. That's
Perfectly
irrelevant.
fine.
Yeah,
Perfectly fine.
I'm very solid with that idea. But I
Mhm.
think about that and I'm like, I am absolutely not stressed about if my girls are all within my little cul-de-sac or on my compound, all we good, big dog. Like, I'm
But even if
solid.
they're not, that's the beautiful thing about like having relationships where, oh, Jasmine just had a baby. Let me fly in and be there for
Yes.
her for those first few weeks or whatever. You know what I mean? So I do
Yes.
think that women are good about coming alongside each other when it
Yeah.
comes to like that nitty gritty stuff. So,
Yeah. I love that. I
but
love
yeah,
that.
mom compound. So, ooh.
Mom compound. Let's go. I'm gonna keep that in my back pocket. I'll convince somebody. Might be you. We'll see.
Yes,
Uh,
let's go. Let's
love it.
go. I've been recruited.
I love it. I love it. Man, I really enjoyed last episode. That was just something that I quickly wanted to share with you. I really love the response that we got. I think that it really
Mhm.
sparked some really incredible conversation with people within my life. How was it for you?
It was really good. I always like talking about stuff like that because I think it's something I'm still going through. So to
Mhm.
see that other people are familiar with it or are willing to like dig into it, I'm absolutely I'm always intrigued.
Yeah, that's dope. That's dope. The thing that's been on the forefront of my mind this week is this idea around when you come to these like big, heavy hitting realizations in your
Mhm.
life. So, whether that it came out of therapy for you, it came out of a conversation with a friend, maybe a book that you're reading, but then like when a realization hits you and then you feel like you need to make an action upon it.
Okay.
So, whether that is like, I'll give you an example, like in my life.
Mhm.
There was a moment for me that I was like really struggling in my relationship with one of my younger sisters. And
Okay.
I just had this like big block and I just did not know what to do or what I needed to do to like move forward in that. But
Mhm.
then when I came to the realization for myself that there was a piece of my mom that sat in the middle between us, it then made me go, oh shoot, like I need to make an action upon this and have a conversation and move forward. So I really just want to talk about today
Okay.
like the idea of these really big life realizations and really needing to
Mhm.
make like an actionable um thing about it, like for your, whether that's for your healing, whether that's for breakthrough, whether that's for like the next step. Have you
Mhm.
had a lot of those moments in your life?
I have. I actually was like, I was like, okay, where are we going with this? Because I'm like, this is so much can come from this.
Mhm.
Um, Short answer, yes. And I think that whatever you say next, I have something to contribute to. I'm positive. So,
I love it. I love it. I think the big thing for me that I have really been like racking my brain
mhm,
is really deciphering between the difference between realizing something and knowing that you need to like be actionable upon it
mhm.
versus like deciding whether or not to share it. Have you been able to like break apart what the two of those lanes look like for you?
Oh, wow. Okay. So, like, something that I'm dealing with internally, and whether it's me healing from it internally or sharing it for the purpose of healing or just for the purpose of acknowledgement.
It could be either or. It could be both. Like,
Yeah. No,
because
like
I
I've
think that both could happen, right?
yeah. Yes, I absolutely agree. I guess that's two answers. So I do love the idea of sharing it with somebody I want to grow with.
Mm,
Somebody that I want to heal with. I will say, maybe this is the Capricorn in me. If I'm not taking you with me on the healing journey, I couldn't care less what you thought about it. I don't care to go back and fix it or tell you that I'm healing from it. I'm
yeah.
fine with you thinking that I'm evil, right? So like that, and maybe that sounds bad. Maybe I don't know, but
Hey, that
I
it's your
think both are
journey.
important.
Yeah.
No, but I think both are important. So to answer your question, like, yeah, like I absolutely like if it's in my close relationships, if it's with like a parent, if it's with a sibling, I want to tell you I'm healing from something and I'm struggling with it. This is why I'm approaching it. Um, so going forward, this is what I think, and I want to be
Yeah.
careful of your feelings.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, if I don't think they're worth bringing along the journey, or I'm not obligated to deal with them on a regular basis, yeah, nah, think what you want, big dog.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel that.
Oh
I
yeah.
really feel that because I think that that was something that as I had reflected on this or really came to this, inflection point for myself is
Mhm.
I have this like complex in my brain that is like very like justice seeking or like you're going to hear me regardless.
Oh, okay.
And so not that it's great.
No,
It's
no, no,
a
no,
it's
no,
a
no.
growing
I'm picking up what you're dropping. I'm
Yep.
okay.
It's a growing space for me, but I love what you said about like, is this person gonna like grow and heal with me or are they not?
Mhm.
Because I think that is like something that is so like for the justice seeker in me that I'm like, not everybody is trying to heal. Some people are very much okay with the way that your relationship is like existing. And so I know for me, that is something that I have really had to like sit inside to be like, not everybody like needs to go and have Jasmine justice at the moment. Like
No, yeah.
they're very much okay. Yeah.
And it's also a waste of breath. Like imagine if you went back on every relationship and tried to explain everything. Oh God. No, just think me the bad guy. Just
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yes. So speaking to more of the healing part of it, like, okay,
yes,
we're
that's a good idea.
healing, right? We're healing. We're trying to grow with these people. We are as individuals trying to have our own self-reflection and growing. What are maybe like some fears that you have had prior to even like approaching those like healing and growth conversations? Or have you maybe you haven't had any?
No, yeah, no, remember I'm an
You're
overthinker.
you're
I have
I'm
thought
also like you're a
about
superhero in my head, so
in
yeah.
my oh, thanks. But in my mind, I've thought of 20 different outcomes before I talk to you about anything. So
Mhm.
I'm like prepared. Um, but what if what am I think a fear would probably be if I'm growing with this person, if it's a relationship, is is this going to affect the way we move forward? Like,
Mm.
is the quality of the relationship going to change? Um, am I going to have to like tiptoe around anything going forward? So it would all like dance around the quality of how well we're going to merge. I mean, not merge. I guess like
Just
blend.
like gel with each other.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But
Mhm.
yeah, it would because I think anything that we're healing from, like possibly been in it so long that we're used to it, even if
Yeah.
it is toxic. We've been in
Mhm.
it so long that we're used to it, and so any change in that is gonna shake something up. So whether
Yeah.
it's like a good change or a bad change, yeah, I'm like, dang, I might lose my buddy. Like I might lose the person that I always do this with, or that my kids call them this, or like
Yeah.
me and my husband go on a double date with them. Like it's yeah, it's a fear of like, dang, everything's gonna change.
Yeah. Yeah. That's really good. So much of that resonates. I know for me, one fear, and it seems odd, but it's like I am like insecure for maybe what I will see in myself when that
Mm,
conversation happens. Like, I think
mm,
we can, like, have this self-talk, this, like, preparation, like, I wanna grow and I wanna heal with this person, but then,
mhm.
like, there for me, I always go to, like, unfortunately, worst case scenario, so I'm not even scenario planning holistically, I am just worst case scenario
Got it.
planning,
Okay.
and that is my own, struggle,
Mhm,
but I think with that, I bring like, okay, I do want to grow with this person. I want to heal with this person.
mhm,
And what if I walk into this conversation and I see something about myself that I'm like, yikes,
mm.
that's got to go, and this person could be attached to that potentially, or on the other end of it is this person who I really thought wanted to like heal and grow with me, they don't want to do that. So why am I even going through the pain of me having that conversation? So that's something that I get like that it stops me and it hinders me from even being like, I want to grow with this person.
Well, dang, because I mean, I think that was my next thing is like, then have you already determined that you're not taking them with you,
Yeah.
in a healthier version of Jasmine?
Yeah. I
Like
sit
you
in
made
the,
that decision for that person,
which is so unfair.
which is not well, yeah, like you're not
Yeah.
even like inviting them in the car. Like, do you want to be better together? You
Mhm.
know, which I can get behind that as well.
Right.
That's where my toxic
This is where our toxic traits come.
not opposed to that either. But go ahead,
Yeah.
you go.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I'm really good at 1 foot in and 1 foot out. I have mastered that in my life.
Really?
Oh, like, it is sick how good I am
Oh
at
man,
it.
that
I
sounds
laugh
so
about it.
confusing.
It
Oh
is
no.
confusing. I always have, like, used this narrative about myself of, like, I'm really good at existing in a gray space, but I've, like, painted that narrative to sound, like, super pretty, but then when you, like, really unwrap the layers, you're like, girl, like, you just are non-committal." Got it.
And I'm like, that sounds exhausting. I would
Yes.
rather lose a person like entirely. You don't exist anymore than to
Mhm.
be in this like middle space. Like I don't know. Now that I think about it, the idea that there is a fear before like addressing, you know, whatever I'm healing from, or I don't know, let's say I went to therapy and the actionable thing of how I'm going to continue a relationship with my, spouse, best friend, sibling, parent, I am going into that differently. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, everything can't be black and white with them. Um, I mean, I've had the experience of like going to therapy for things that I might have dealt with in my childhood and then being like, "Oh, I'm gonna go tell my parents.
Right,
This will
right.
fix it." And they're like, "Yeah, no, get out of here," right?
Yeah.
But my fear in that is it's gonna change the relationship I have with them, the interaction. Like I'm not just dipping out on them. Like I'm
Yeah.
not immediately going no contact with them. So it is kind of scary healing from something and then trying to like still have a relationship from essentially the thing you're healing from,
Yeah.
but you still love the thing. You still want to be in a relationship with that thing. So that is hard for me. That is
Yeah.
scary.
Yeah, because the desire doesn't just die, right? Like,
No.
I love
No.
this person, I want them to be in my life, but there's
Mhm.
the other, it's the 2 things can exist at once, like, the reality is that this person still hurt me, and I love
Yeah.
them, and, they hurt me for whatever their reasons are, but this
Mhm.
is what I'm healing in my hurt right now.
Right.
Yeah.
And you can't when you're trying to fix something that or unlearn something, you can't convince someone else that it makes sense.
No.
Like, cause
Yeah.
it doesn't. That's not their journey.
Mhm.
So for me, like if I'm like, my dad, like love the guy, but there was a situation where like my daughter and I were talking to him for his birthday, and he tried to chastise her for something I didn't think was wrong, but he tried
Mhm.
to chastise her, and, I stopped and was like, "Hey," like, in my mind, I'm like, "This is the same thing you're starting to do the same thing that traumatized me. Like, no, we not doing that around these parts,"
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
But I realized, like, I can't convince him that that's wrong.
Yeah.
He's just gonna have to deal with, like, not having access to me. So in
Mhm.
his mind, I'm being mean because he's not ready to hear that that's just not what we do to kids.
Mm.
Like, we shouldn't talk to them that way. You know what I mean?
Seems simple,
Um,
but yeah.
it's right, it is. But if this is his norm, and
Yeah.
this is something he doesn't necessarily feel like he needs to grow from,
Yeah.
I'm wasting my breath trying to convince him that it's hurtful and that it has lasting effects.
Yeah.
I can't like, all I can do is, like, block. I mean, like, pretty much, like, stop it from happening to my kids.
Right, right,
That's all I could do. Yeah.
right. I mean, it quickly shows that if people's default has never been checked by anybody else, they will
Mhm.
never believe that it's wrong when it's checked by you.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
do you ever go in this space of like when you are in therapy and you're healing from a thing that somebody else, might not believe needs healing, like do you have a hard time seeing them where they stand? Whether it's like a parent, a friend, like now you got new eyes on them.
Oh man, it's my compassion goes through the floor, my empathy goes through the floor, my sympathy goes through the floor. It's so bad. But it's really, really, really hard for me. Um Because I think there are, like I've mentioned, that piece of justice
Mhm.
that sits in me is like you never see it from my point of view, so therefore it makes me be like, well, forget yours. Like,
Mhm.
and it's not, it is quite petty, and I do have that bone in me, but um yeah, I think that it's dependent on how much I want that person to be in my life, but I'm just
Mm.
gonna keep it a buck with you. Like, I've been so wronged by people who are so close in my life. Like, I have straight up, and we've mentioned this in previous episodes, so I won't fully go there, but I've mentioned it. Like, my grandparents did me dirty. If people who, like, everybody's like, your grandparents love grandkids and da 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 da. Mine did me dirty. So I'm
They
kind of like
they're a different breed.
different, totally. And so yeah, it's hard for me to like, have compassion to be like, you know what? They've got the stuff that they're dealing with, and therefore, I just have moments where I'm like, I'm getting the brunt of it. No.
Well, I mean, and yes. Yes, and I'm gonna play devil's advocate.
Yes, please.
What are the relationships where you felt like what are the close relationships that you felt like I'm healing from, but like I can't let this relationship go?
Mm, mhm. My mom is a big one. I actually, it's funny, I went into therapy because I feel like I had stuff to talk about in Unwrap,
Mhm.
like with my dad and, early years of our relationship.
Mhm.
And the conversation pivoted very quickly. And I was like, "Mm,
So
that's
wait, came
that's
here.
not what that's not what I came here
Don't you
for.
hate that?
Stop time.
No, going
Oh,
back to the last subject. Yeah.
it made me so mad. Like I put this in my review and you're pivoting and that wasn't I pay you. But no, it was very great. Thank you, my therapist, for pivoting the conversation. Because she even made me realize like this is the person that you have the most relational equity with, and therefore it's going to be the most dynamic and complicated and multi-layered.
Mhm.
And that's where I was like, ah, shoot. And it had to be an ebb and flow for me. There's some days that
Mhm.
I can have so much compassion and understanding for my mom. There's other days like, no, yeah, that pissed me off. And my pendulum has swung, heavily to the other side. And so she's the immediate answer that comes to my head. That's like, I can really understand why our dynamic is challenging sometimes.
Well, then how do you move forward with that? Because it can't be the same.
No.
Like, you almost I read something, and Imma butcher it, but, like, just go with me on this.
Yep.
But it was like you have to almost, like, kill the relationship you had with them before. So, like, your mom, because I think I relate to this when it comes to parents. I've killed the idea that I'm your kid because the expectations are different. Like,
Mhm.
I'm still expecting you to show up as the mom that in my mind you should be, or the
Yeah.
dad that you should be. Um, and so my insecurities are showing and things like that, right? But I have to kill that idea and almost see you as a friend and like understand you differently
Mhm. Mhm.
and try to if even if I can't like relate, but just empathize like, oh, that's what you were going through and that's why you so like that has to be hard, but have you reached that point? Or are you still like, "You're my mom and you should show up for me and be my mom?"
Yeah. There's sometimes I sometimes still have those moments for sure.
Yeah.
I think that thankfully, I'm very good at compartmentalizing in my life. It has served me
Blessing and
very
curse,
well.
right? Like
It so is. Like, for all of us compartmentalizers out there, shout out to you. The
Jeez.
big shift that, like, it's almost I had to take myself out of my body and be
Mhm.
like, "She is a woman, and I am a
Yeah.
woman." And that was, like, the very first time that I did that, I was able to see everything significantly different. Like,
Mm.
when you're younger, like, when you're in your early 20s, like, you don't even your frontal lobe is still not there. So
Yeah.
it's like you still, want to have, like, "You're my mom, you're this, you're gonna show up and do this," and also my mom was a single mom, and so she had a
Mhm.
whole lot to do and trying to play so many roles, but as I unpacked like a lot of our things, when I took that step back and I was like woman to woman, it gave me so much more empathy for her life. And I'm like, you were going through all of that while you had a period, while your hormones were all over the place, while
Mhm.
you were raising two girls that had hormones all up in her life. Like it really made me like take a step back and look at things so differently that I was like moments where I'm like, I was in absolute terror, but I needed to be in moments as well.
Okay, so I think you know what I'm about to say when you were like, "You're a woman." What am I about to say?
I can't. I'm not saying it out loud. You're gonna say it. I'm gonna make you
No.
say
Okay, okay,
it.
okay. Sorry. No, I wasn't going there.
Before you're my mom, you're a woman.
That's what I was gonna say.
I got you. I got you. I was baiting you, but I got you.
Why would you do that? I was like, "No, no, 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 no."
Yeah, I had to.
Anyway, this is why I have trust issues. So, yeah, like, I years ago, I was like, "Dang, like, you're a human before you are any relative, like, you're a human," and so it's so refreshing to hear that thought that you, like, empathize with her in that way, and you're like, "Dang, like, that's what you were doing."
Yeah,
Because you can't be mad at her after that. I mean, like, you have your reasons to feel the way you feel, but
yeah.
you kinda have to be like, "Dang, like, if I had to be a single mom and deal with this and still work and do that and nobody was helping me," and, like, that's a whole different set of problems.
Yes. Yeah. like problems that I'm like, I don't have any of those problems. And that
Right.
and it's
I
really
can't
it's
relate.
I cannot relate, and it's a very humbling moment and very
Mhm,
refreshing because 'cause I'm like, "Dang,
mhm,
I'm super grateful." Even when I'm beefing with you or I don't feel like talking, I don't feel like spending time, I
mhm,
don't wanna, like, grow in this relationship right now, I can at least have a posture of gratitude to be like, "At least I'm not what you had to walk through." And that is
mhm,
something that I can always sit and be like, even in my
mhm.
beef, even in my frustration, I
Yeah,
can be grateful for that.
yeah. No, and I'm with you, like, you raised humans while having to deal with, like, all the things you were fighting. Um, I feel the same way, and I think that that's where I was just I'm still accepting that relationship of, like, I'm a mom and I have kids, but I'm letting go of the expectations I might have had from my mom as a child. And
Mhm.
there are times, like, I'm sharing with other people what, I might have gone through with my mom, and they're like, "That sounds horrible." And I'm like, "Well, she did what she had to do." And it's
Mhm.
like, I almost sound like, I'm still in it. But reality is, like you said, I'm not a single mom, and I'm not over here laying awake at night wondering how the bills are gonna get paid because the other parent dipped. Like,
Yep.
I'm not struggling with those things. So I'm allowed to have the space to let my kids be open affectionately or like speak their mind. I can put up with the quote unquote, I'll say this. I can't imagine having to worry about all that. And then, like you said, a teenager telling me that they're bored because I did something, or telling me like that it's not fair that I don't give them like that,
You're the
putting up
worst
with that
mom, like
and the idea that I gotta go pay bills and figure out how the lights gonna stay on. You're wild. You're adding fuel to my fire.
right, right, right.
Now we just okay. So, but okay, and then here's something I struggled with. Um, Everything can't be black and white when you're healing. Like, as
Mhm.
much as we wanna say, "Okay, I put this boundary in place, and this is how I feel," everything can't be black and white, and I think my thinking is I'm always ready for things to go south. So when
Mhm.
I say that my thought process is whatever move I make, I've already studied the possibilities of it,
Yeah.
and, like, I wanna say it was last was may might have been, like, a year ago, last summer, but, I flew out I flew back home, um, to celebrate one of my siblings, and in the middle of it, there were multiple times where I felt, like, disrespected because of internal things that I've decided I'm not gonna put up with.
Yeah.
Um, Not to say that it was a bulletin and I sent out a newsletter, but
Right.
I decided internally that I have free will. Like, I don't have to stick around for this, right?
Yeah.
And so a series of things was happening in the space of this like celebration and these milestones. And I was like, all right, now that the celebration is done, I walked out
Mhm.
and flew home. Um, and it was just everybody else felt like, how could you just up and leave? My mind was like, I felt disrespected once, twice, three, four. And I decided 3 steps ago
Yeah.
that I have money and resources to do whatever I want.
Say, "See you later." Yeah,
And in
yeah,
my mind, I wasn't concerned about how you felt
yeah.
once I decided to remove myself.
Mhm.
But then that did cause a ripple. Like, it was like a process of like, dang, she really left. How could she do that? That wasn't, we wanted more time with her. Why didn't she say anything?
Mhm.
But that was like the back end of quote unquote healing and not fixing it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And
Yeah.
so I did understand, like, okay, I could have done that differently. But that's just how quickly I moved
Yeah.
when I just didn't feel supported. Like, it's so easy for me to accept the consequences of my actions before I even do it. I'm already like, yeah, they could probably decide not to talk to me forever, and I'm gonna sleep at night. That's your decision.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it
Yep.
sucks, but, like, I respect that that's your decision.
Yeah.
Um, but you know what I mean? But though that's a possibility when you're, like, healing.
Mhm. Mhm.
And if you really want a relationship with these people, if you really wanna continue, growing with these people, like you can't handle it like that all the time. Like you can't. Like, and so that's something I probably could have done differently. I've had
Mhm.
conversations about that.
Post experience. I mean, that's the other that's the other side of it, right? Like, I think at the
Mhm.
beginning we were talking about, like, when you come to realizations and feeling the need to be actionable about it, but that was the other side
Mhm.
of it for you of, like, I did not need to send out the monthly newsletter. The newsletter,
No.
I had it inside, and I had made a decision of what that looked like, and that is, like, that's okay too. That's okay
Mhm.
too. Yeah, that I think that side for me is, like, super hard, because I what I still have to deal with in those moments for myself is, like, grandparents I had mentioned that I really don't speak to,
Mhm.
father who I don't speak to. I've come on that side of myself, but still have to deal with the backlash of knowing that there's a conversation about me that I'm not involved in. But it
Yeah.
always gets back to me. It like that's just like that's always how it goes, right? Is
Yeah.
like everybody's like, "Oh, it always gets back to you." And I'm like, "Yeah, just it's clockwork every time because the people that I trust and people that I have an nature relationship are like, "No, no, no. This is what we're not about to do."
Mhm.
But that's the piece of it that because, like, there is so much deep love and there's so much deep care, like, because it's relational equity that I have with these people,
Mhm.
but that I'm still like, "Okay, let me work on my self-talk game because I am healing. I am better than I
Mhm.
was in those moments where maybe I had hurt them, but I don't have to feel the need to be the one to, like, mend this." Like, that
Yeah.
self-talk game and that is I really gotta turn that wheel super fast because I could spiral and go way deep.
Yeah. And that's such a it's actually a lonely game.
Yeah.
Like, when you think about it, like, because even though you know that you're supporting your better self and, like, you wanna be healthy, um, you still wanted a relationship with your grandparents. Like, you still wanted a relationship
Mhm.
with your dad, right? You still wanted to be able to have access to them. But this is just a consequence of, and I know, just because I'm in the middle of what you're dealing with these same people. Like, I see that there's been attempts. I see that there's been conversations. And when you're dealing with someone that just doesn't feel like they need to change, it's almost like you're going through a really bad breakup because you're
Yeah.
like, "Man, like, I wanted to be with you. I
Mhm.
really wanted this to work out." Um, you know what I mean? And so it's lonely. Like, healing is lonely and it's sad.
True.
And I don't
Yeah.
think that the rewards come fast enough.
Yeah.
Like, you have to almost, like, see the potential of it, and, like, you have to date healing and just know that it's gonna be a better man later. Like, you have to,
Yeah.
like you just know.
So
You're
true.
investing
Yes.
you're investing in a really good man.
Oh,
And
yeah.
so you have to know that because the process of it hurts. You're
Mhm.
like, "Dang, I'll never get that part of my mom, the one I needed, that
Yeah.
space. I'll never have those," like your grandparents. The moments that they intentionally chose to miss, you're never gonna do that again.
Yep.
They're never gonna be able to go back and experience. You can't even mimic that moment again. The
Right.
moments that I feel like I miss with my parents, I'm never gonna experience what it would be like to have my parents be with me in
Mhm.
those crazy monumental moments.
Yeah.
So it is sad. Um, but like the reward that you don't see yet, that you're like not there, not can't even touch yet, has to look better
Mhm.
than whatever, crazy back and forth is going on now.
Yeah. Yeah. It's so true. I think especially within this lonely game, I really have to clock it for myself, like, whether that's writing
Mm,
it in a note, whether that's texting something to you or,
mm,
I have these moments where I have shared it with you of like, "Dang, I can't believe, like, where I'm at in my life." And, like, like, I think those are
mhm,
things that it's important to like remind yourself or say it to other people like in your life because I think that is a thing that like you so at least for me I so desperately have to root myself to that, otherwise I
mhm,
constantly will have this like unrealistic longing, and I don't want that. I want to
mhm.
have a realistic longing to be like
Yeah.
these, who is in my life, who is going to show
Mhm,
up, how am I going to show up for myself, my future family, my whatever the future people in my life, like I have to have a few like my posture has to be future state longing rather than like past longing.
mhm. Mm, that's
Yeah.
so good. That's so good. What do you think is helping you heal now? Like, I guess what's helpful now?
Mm. I, for me, have been putting myself in really new contexts. Like,
Mm,
that has been something that I have experienced, moving out of my hometown. I've lived in different cities. I've,
yeah.
moved jobs, and I have looked back to seeing how productive that has been in my life to my growth. And so what I realize like in my healing journey is that when I'm in new spaces, it really helps me continue to heal. So whether
Mhm.
that's, it might sound like small and simple and kind of silly, but like I'm picking up a new hobby, so I'm like, I don't know, say tennis, for instance, because I bought a tennis racket. But like, I'm going to play tennis, and I'm like in a new space, and it really makes me sit and think of like, wow, like you've come really far, or just like having like
Mm,
these moments. Like I'm very environmentally sensitive. That's something that
mhm.
I learned about myself, and so as I'm, healing, I'm really putting myself in new spaces. I think
Yeah.
another one for me is I'm now like I'm on a monthly with my therapist now. So come on, growth, not every
Look
week.
at you, girl.
But she has really encouraged me to whatever I'm dealing with in a moment, find the framework or find the prompt or, things that are super reflective. And so it's less about me talking about it because what I learned about myself is that if I overexert talking about it, I overly spin on it. And that was like,
Yep.
we just got to cut it off. And so
Yeah.
for me, it was like, okay, what's the thing? What's
Mhm.
the prompt? What's the reflection? How are you moving forward? Like I
Yeah.
had to make it, and because I think talking about it serves a purpose when you really don't have the language for it. But I'm
Yeah,
at the
yeah, yeah.
moment where I have the language for it now, so I
Mhm.
have to get super sharp so that I'm not like going backwards.
Yeah. Oh, that's so good.
Yeah. How about you?
N I haven't played tennis in so long. I want to. Um, so maybe when you come out here.
Come on, we're about to be on our Coco Golf. You feel me?
Okay. No, so my perspective has been what it's been for years, just that seeing that you're a person first, and what kind of person are you before you're my person.
Yeah.
Um, so helping it helps to see where they are and understand why they did what they did as a person before their obligation to me.
Mm,
Um, yeah, that might mean for some people it turns into a for some people it turns into a service relationship. And that's the best I'm gonna get out of you. That's the capacity you have for me. And I'm gonna have to be okay with that.
yeah.
Because it protects my peace. And sadly for you, you don't get the access that you might want because we can only be surface to keep it healthy for the both of us.
Yeah.
Um, I stopped like holding anger for where like people lacked.
Wow.
Because I feel like like I said, it must suck for you knowing like you'll never be an emergency contact, right? like you
Mm,
like I would hate to know that in a space where I should be your direct contact, that I wouldn't be the first to know and I wouldn't be a person you can count on.
yeah.
But that's something I would have to face because I've made so many moves not to build that trust with you.
Yeah.
So in my mind, you whether you're suffering enough, you're dealing with that enough to know I don't have the relationship with her I thought I would have.
Yeah.
Um, but I hold no anger towards you. I just have had to navigate and understand you where you are. Yeah,
Yeah.
yes, you are my parent. You are my sibling. You are my close friend. And I love you. You are my family member and I love you.
Mhm.
Um, I don't feel like I can count on you in certain ways that you might expect.
Yeah.
So I'm surprised you're surprised. I'm
Yeah.
actually quite confused.
Yeah.
But that's that's no longer a me problem. That's a
Yeah.
you thing.
Mhm.
So that's what helps me not be like hurt, pissed off, feeling unfed.
Yeah.
It's like this is just where we are, and we're okay with that. Luckily, it gives me space to invest in the relationships that are responsive. It
Yeah.
gives me like energy and attention to invest in the relationships that reciprocate that same energy.
Yeah.
Because even though you and I have talked, we could very well not be compatible. Um, but we work at talking this thing out
Yep.
all the time.
Yeah.
Not that we're like for hours, how do you feel? How do you feel? No, no, no. It's
Yeah.
like, okay, what did you mean? Are you good?
Yep.
This is what I'm doing.
Yep.
Oh, cool. And we want so much of the best for each other
Yep.
that we are not looking at your intentions as negative things. We're
Yep.
not looking at intentions as held resentment. We're
Mhm.
like, oh, she does want to fix it.
Yeah.
So I'm seeing it in a pure way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Even in like, like I said, just even in the milestones, we're willing to be like, okay, I know her intentions. So I'm not having this long drawn out, how do you feel? You
Yeah.
know,
Are we good?
are we good? Are
Yeah.
we good?
Yeah. Yeah.
No, I actually,
Yeah.
it,
It's giving
if you
naggy
make me do
girlfriend.
that if you make me do that in a relationship, I am slowly chipping away at whatever I have left for you.
Yeah.
Um, but I say all that to say, I am thankful for all these transitions because my energy is where it needs to be.
Yeah. That's so good. All of what you said. I love that you're like, I'm not holding that anger and resentment for what you done. Woo!
No,
Fire. That was so good.
no,
I think
live
one
your
thing that
life.
I wanted to add with the space of health that I feel like I'm in, I
Hmm.
now can come into conversations of what I'm curious about with people casually. Because I think for me, I come from just, I'll say family holistically, who is
Hmm.
just very cards to the chest, like all of
Mm,
them. And
mm,
because I'm so deep in some of this work for myself, I've now been able to, like, my higher self is like trickles in little
mhm,
casual conversations, and that helps me clock where people are at. And I think that is really helpful for me. So as I continue to navigate relationships with those people, I know who could go there, or I know who's like, no, 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 this is not safe for either one of us. So that was
mm.
something that was a big revelation for me.
Whoa. Lo Look at us growing.
Come on, growth. You better go ahead.
Oh, man. Well, I love this, and I sure do hope the best for anybody that is, at any of these stages, whether it's, like, addressing it with that person or just initially, like, addressing it in yourself
Yeah.
and that hard space of, okay, it's a me thing, and I might not get the closure I need from that person, or I might not get the apology or the acceptance or understanding. That alone is a big stage. So, congratulations. But as you guys go through these steps, like it's we're still going through them too.
Yes.
Um, so good on y'all for sticking it out with us.
Yes, I mean every time, every single
Mhm.
time. I learn so much from these conversations and from how
Mhm.
other people handle things. Like, I know you and I would be talking about it a lot, which
Yeah.
is like super super helpful. Like things that had happened years ago, I bring that into my life now.
Mhm.
And I think I'm always going to like preach that of like, have one person. Like, it's not easy for sure, but like,
Mhm.
I had shared previous episode, like, I carry shame, and that's something that is like a
Mhm.
default for me. But my one person that I have, I don't bring that into that conversation.
Yeah.
Like, so as I'm like, I'm not going to bring, shame into being actionable about this, but I
Yeah.
need somebody to help me, figure it out first. So
Yes.
that's my encouragement for all of you this episode.
Yes. Get a person.
Get a person. Come on, showing up
Get
for you. Hashtag get a person.
get a person.
I love it. I love it.
Oh, okay. Well, we love you guys and happy Monday. We hope this episode helps start your week off right.
That's right. Enjoy. We'll see you guys later. Bye.
Bye.